All right, welcome to Volume 4 of the Best of WCW Monday Nitro, Top 200. I'm your boy Brian.
Adam.
Jess.
GM.
And we're getting ready to take a look at 50 through 11. So, number 50, just quickly, Goldberg Raven. Adam had it at 12. This actually was the best, in my opinion, Goldberg match on the set.
Yeah, I mean, this is another match where I spoke about earlier. I spoke about the crowd. And the crowd in this, they were just so ready to jump over the rails. I mean, they went completely apeshit when Goldberg beat Raven. I mean, this was like a Raven's Rules match too. If I'm,
Yeah.
you know,
It was one of the few times that I didn't mind interference in a match because
Right.
it actually helped the match. It made Goldberg look more invincible, and it was kind of fun watching the Ravens guy, Flock Guy stooge from.
Yeah. And
what about match 48? I noticed that Adam and Jesse had an 80-point difference on. It's Malenko Mysterio. Adam at 20, Jess at 103.
This particular match, you know, as we've been going through, is something that really didn't stand out for me. You know, it wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst of their series, but
yeah, again, you know, earlier, like I'm starting to sound like a broken record, like Gio. But this is another match, like, sorry,
Threw his ass under the bus.
like Gio says with the, you got the main event feel.
Shooter.
This is one match. You know, this was the best of their series, I thought, on the disc.
No.
because you had the other one, number 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, some.
Okay, it was almost as good as number 3. Yeah.
You're not making a real convincing argument there, but maybe debate team.
Everybody seemed to like it.
Well, you mentioned Gio. Gio, let's talk about match 47. You had it 70 points lower than the rest of us. This was another. Was another match that was. This was a match that was submitted to us from a user online.
I told you earlier this was my benchmark. This was my benchmark.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure now because, dude, Enos was stiff as hell.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to get a contract.
He jumped. Do you remember this?
Keep it coming.
There was a great spot, actually, I probably liked it a lot better than my rating reflects, but where they set the tab, what is it, the stairs up and they dropped Jericho right on his stomach on him.
Yeah, there's a couple bumps with the ring steps that seem completely uncalled for, but I was happier for it.
It was like Brock says, they took chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad.
And wasn't there a super bomb off the top?
Hell yeah, there was.
So, pretty cool match. Match 46, and this one kind of surprised me that I was as high on it in comparison to the rest of you. I did it at number 9. I was 15 plus points higher than the rest of the team. Everybody had it in their top 100, so it's not a match that people didn't like. I just apparently liked it more.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about this match is that I've seen Eddie Guerrero wrestle 100, 200, 300, I don't know how many times. I've never seen him do a frog splash and cover this much ground. The finish of the match, Ultimo is literally in the opposite corner. I mean, watch it yourself. Eddie Guerrero does a frog splash across the entire length of the ring. That's cool. But to me, like we've used the term personification a few times. Almost more so than any other junior heavyweight or cruiserweight match, this was a personification. Yeah. 2 hardworking guys, awesome match. Let's look at match 42.
Yes, here we go. Let me talk about this one.
Eddie Guerrero Psychosis.
Okay.
Jesse had it at 16, Adam at 24, me at 35. We all really liked it. Gio at 142.
Here's what I was going to drop on you guys earlier. I reneged my rating for this because I rewatched it. I rewatched the match. The shoulder work, which I did not notice the first time on Eddie after he hit that splash, was incredible. So I reneged my 142 rating.
Well, you really can't because we've already.
Well, you know,
you single-handedly. It ended up at 42.
Give us a number then.
I would put it around my 50s.
So that maybe would have knocked it into the top 30s.
Probably.
Well,
I thought it was awesome.
It is a damn good match.
Yeah.
And speaking of damn good matches, here's one again where we kind of have a clash in taste.
Oh.
Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrero teaming up against La Park and Psychosis. Jesse and I both had this in our top 25. You had almost broke your top 10.
Yeah.
Adam and Gio both at the tail end of their top 100. Adam at 99.
Yeah.
This was
awesome
the 4
match.
money lucha players WCW had, arguably.
Yeah.
And they went out there and proved exactly why they were brought to the States. Just the Ray Hurricane Rana from the top outside to La Parka through the eye hallway. Just think about that. If you try that and messed it up, you're dead. And he did it
Could be in a wheelchair
with 100% accuracy. It was beautiful.
He was
the whole
bad.
match was awesome.
And I really, the thing I liked about it too is that it had one of those real exciting finishing stretches.
Yeah, oh yeah,
You know.
Oh, that was the
wire.
finish. The Hurricane Rana, Hoovy hits the 450 at the same exact time. It was beautiful.
Awesome match. You know, I feel like with the cruiserweight stuff, maybe I could be wrong, but for these guys, I feel like maybe some of it falls through the cracks. But to me, you gotta look at to me, you gotta look at each match on its own merits, and I think this one fared pretty well for itself. I'm glad it ended up as high as it did.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other matches that we won't talk at length here. 39, Mysterio Guerrero. Adam had it at 13. He loved it. Match 38, the Joshi tag match, Bull Nakano and Akira Hokuto against Mayumi Ozuki and Cutie Suzuki. It did really well at 38. I had it in my top 10 at 6. I had it at least 40 to 70 points higher than the rest of you guys. I mean, obviously, again, this probably more so than other matches is personal taste. Right. I love Japanese women's wrestling. I think they're some of the most emotive and believable at selling pain and punishment. And this match is one that I feel like, if you do look at it kind of, you know, I feel like if you do look at it with a fine-tooth comb and you look at the subtle things, there's facial selling here that's some of the best on the set. I understand that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm glad it ended up where it did.
I think that most people liked it.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as other things, but...
What about, I had a feeling of Joshi be in your, be up near top of your list.
And, you know, I mean, if it was a wretched match, I would hate to put it, below, my top 100 or 150, but, it wasn't. It was really good, and I think it warrants its spot. Let's talk about match, 1 second here. Let's see, 36, Gio and Adam had an 80-point difference. It was a Booker Bret Hart match. Gio at 22, Adam at 103.
The match just didn't click for me. That's all it was. Simple as that. Just did not click.
I mean, Gio and you guys both had it in your top 25.
It's a long-in-the-tooth match. It's a Bret Hart specialty. And I just thought it was brilliant how he put Booker over. So big. Actually, this was much lower on my list. And when I was completing it, I bumped it up. Because I thought there was no reason for him. There was reason for him to do it, but I thought the way he executed it was...
Let's talk about like a generational thing. I think match, number 35, Gio had it 80 to 50 points lower than the three of us. Could that be because he didn't grow up on the Rock and Roll Express and maybe even Flair and Anderson? I mean, Adam, you had it at 17, Jesse at 37, me at 43. It cracked all of our top 50s. It barely made Gio's top 100.
This was another one of those matches that kept moving down the ballot for me because I kept finding things I liked better. This was great old school. There's no doubt about it. I love 80s wrestling. I love Memphis.
Where did this fail?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it did necessarily for me. It was just one of those things where I found things better.
Yeah.
And they took its spot, basically.
Jesse, I really want to put you on the soapbox here and give you a moment. Match 32 is your number 1.
Yeah.
It was Adam's 120.
Now, he told me before I ever saw this match how terrible it was.
And I liked it. At the time that you called me and told me that, I had seen it and enjoyed it. It's my 26. It was Gio's 26, excuse me. And it did break my top 50. Regal Psychosis, December of 96.
This match kind of felt like it was filmed in another universe. Because Psychosis was this amazing, Sting-like babyface in this match for some reason. These fans, you talk about crowd heat. People wanted him to win that belt. And Regal
was... Is that a testament made almost more so to Regal? His ability as a heel, because he was that hated?
He was hated. He did everything he could to make this... And he gave Psychosis every single opportunity to try to win this title. I mean, originally this match was my number 2, and I put it in the number 1 slot just to cement my love for it because I just thought it was off the page.
It's one of the interesting things about Nitro is that you see stuff that you wouldn't see anywhere else in the world. Here you have a British World of Sport, Matt Maestro against sometimes a careless, but a lot of times awesome high flyer in Psychosis.
I thought Psychosis actually held up far better in Nitros.
Everybody liked it besides Adam. It probably would have cracked into the ultimate top 25 had Adam not put it so low. Adam, why didn't you like this match?
This was just a simple case of this just felt very bland to me.
Did you feel like there was a story
I didn't
at
connect
all?
to it at all.
Wow.
So that's why it was so low. I just was watching. I was like,
There was a lot of Regal nuances in this.
And I'm a big Regal fan.
Yeah,
And
that's where I thought it would connect with you.
And I'm a big Regal fan. I love Regal, but this just did not connect for me for some reason.
And that might be one, you know, that might be one that, you know,
maybe I should go back and revisit it.
Yeah, like
I would
Gio said.
recommend it. Yeah.
Let's talk about the match right ahead of it. 31. It's Flair and Guerrero. The only reason I had this one circled is because anytime that a match is in one of our top 10s, I feel maybe the person nominating it so highly would like to talk about it. Adam had this at 5.
This was the first match I watched for the project, and I was blown away by everything. I thought everything clicked. I thought everything worked. I don't remember the exact details of the finish. I want to say there was some kind of interference, but I could be wrong on that. I know you've got a sponge-like brain. So.
I think it was a figure 4.
Was it okay?
Maybe.
Well, I know the earlier match that we covered a few videos back was a figure 4.
Oh, okay.
This one may be as well. I mean, presumably.
I may be getting my finishes mixed up here between the two matches, but I just thought this was such a good match.
There was
And
one
they
of them,
were
and I
20
believe it was this one, where there actually was a targeted leg work, which
It
made
was,
a lot
it
more
was.
sense.
And
Whereas
this-
the other one was just a clunky match with a figure 4 as a cherry on
And
top
this,
of
this went 20
shit
minutes.
souffle.
It was absolutely brilliant. So that's why I had it so high.
Let's. We're not going to talk about these next few matches, but they bear mentioning. Flair, Arn Anderson cage match at 30. I wish would have gotten more time.
Yeah.
Ric Flair versus Sting. In my opinion, the main event of the first Nitro. Although I think Hogan and Big Bubba Rogers actually was the main event that night. But the next match I think maybe we should talk about is match 27. It's Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah, that is a match that
I love that.
fired on every cylinder.
Well,
I was shocked that, Adam, you really didn't like it. I couldn't
Well,
believe it.
This is, again,
Whoa,
it's-
Brian, Jesse, and Gio, all of us had it around 15. Adam at 140. That's a
Huge disparity.
giant.
this, again, something that just did not click for me whatsoever. I'm
What
sitting
was
here
it about this that didn't
I think it
click?
was just
Specifically.
slow paced.
Not this match.
No!
To me, it was slow paced. Okay, it just didn't seem like a cruiserweight match to me.
I mean, they blew the barn doors wide open and just went for it. I mean, this was Ray and Eddie for I think the first time since Mysterio had been unmasked, and it was a match that I
No,
didn't
he wasn't
know.
unmasked.
No,
this
not
was
this
the LWO breakup.
Okay, no, but it is the same match that I was thinking.
Yeah.
of.
And that's another reason
And it's
I
really
thought
great.
it had too much story. I think there's a thing is too much story, and
I-
I think that really hindered it.
I thought when I was
I guess you've
I
never
thought
read
you
Hemingway
sandbagged. I thought you sandbagged that one.
Yeah, I think
I kind of did.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a match that it's kind of a broad thing that you're saying that you don't like about it, but specifically, like I think if we were to sit and look at it, it'd be hard pressed to find
That's a
anything
good
wrong
one to
with it.
revisit, I think.
But let's talk about match 25
25.
because this is a match of more disputes than any other match. I kind of feel like we beat a dead horse off camera in the weeks preceding this about it. DDP and Sting. This is both Gio and Adam's number one.
The cameraman just cringed.
This is both. Yeah, cameraman, hear me out. Maybe you'll understand. Gio and Adam had this at number 1. I had this at 102. It didn't even crack my top 100.
So I think
It had crowd heat. Besides that, what did it do?
All right, so basically
Particularly well.
this match was great to me. This was my favorite match in the set because DDP is being such a dick the whole time. He's going. How many times did he leave the ring to go jaw with the fans?
So,
This is
I lost
pissing.
count, so many.
This is the pissing the fans off every time he steps through those ropes. He's building up so much heat, and dude, Sting just when Sting starts wailing on him, dude, he wails on him, and the crowd fucking explodes. This is the pinnacle of popping, in my opinion, dude. Because
Not to mention the surprise finish.
the surprise, dude. I
was not pulled off.
Gio, you took the words
Real
right out of my mouth.
I
honestly.
can't
The
reiterate.
surprise finish, you're talking about when they came out of the corner? Because that was not pulled off smoothly.
No,
The
Well, the title change. I'm
the
talking
title
about. Yeah.
here's my thing about that finish. They aped it from their first match.
Which is a better
It's
match.
the same
and we're going to
exact,
talk about it here.
same
in a minute.
exact ending.
But you see,
so I
here's
wasn't
the
surprised
thing
at all.
about here's the thing
when I
about the
saw it.
shorter match. The other matches, you
Well-
didn't get that build. That
No,
build
this,
is so
this,
important.
Yeah, this really had
Okay,
build.
the shorter match we're going to talk about momentarily. Jesse and I both liked it more than the longer match. Maybe then we will give our side of the story. But anything else that anyone wants to say about it?
I loved it. It was my number
yeah,
one.
my
I'm going
number
to stand
one, too.
by it no matter what
Yeah,
anybody
me
says.
too.
Man.
You know, I feel like, I mean, it was your guys' number one. Obviously, you saw something in it. Maybe Jesse and I didn't, and maybe other people might not. to me, I mean, crowd heat does not, a good match alone make.
But when you add it to all the other elements, dude, it reaches a level beyond anything else on the set, in my opinion.
And this was another.
And I hate DDP. That's the crazy thing about it, dude. I don't like DDP.
He's pretty one-dimensional in
And
this
this
match.
is another thing
A lot of
where
holes in his game.
this is another match where I went into it with very, very low expectations.
You pimped this really early.
I know, and I'm thinking DDP instead.
This
Mid-99,
felt
this is
main
going to
event
suck.
pay-per-view quality match to me, dude. This is it. You need to watch this. This is where
I'm
it's
going to
at.
speak on the 2-minute one.
Well, we'll get to that real quickly, but we got a few last matches. I think 3 or 4 left to round this out. Match 20, Jesse, I want you to speak on it. I liked it a lot. It's a match that I had higher, but towards the end it got pushed back into
This
my
is the
late
Road
20s.
Warriors and the Steiner Brothers.
You had
If
it
I
at
say
number
that
8.
match happened, who's not going to download it?
Yeah.
That match did fucking happen, and it was what you think it was. That's big. I mean,
It had,
it didn't have a fuck finish either.
no, it was dipped into
Yeah.
Japan, and into,
It was stiff as all hell.
it was
I loved
batter dipped in Japanese.
I knew as soon as I saw it, this is in my top 10.
It was really good. Gio had it at 72, but let's talk about DDP and Sting, the 10-minute match. It fared fairly well on most ballots. To
Most
me,
people seem like they still liked it, actually.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it
too.
a lot better than the 20-minute match. Jesse actually liked it way better than the 10-minute match.
I liked this match for the same reason you guys like that one. It's DDP Sting. Blew me away that it was good. But those two knew exactly, this was face versus face, which I think it worked even better. Because the fans love both guys. So every time one went down, they popped. There was constant popping.
And crowd heat was a big thing on that last match. I haven't watched the matches side by side or simultaneously or anything, but from my memory, and I could be wrong on this one, I thought the crowd heat was as good.
I think
maybe
it was
better
too.
in the 10-minute match.
After I saw the 10-minute match, I say, what else did they do? And why would they add another 10 minutes? Because I already knew about the match you told me
Sting's
about.
great. DDP's not so great, but together, I don't think you can make a case that they're good dancing partners.
The added 10 minutes.
I think you can, actually.
The added 10 minutes on our number 1 made the finish that much more spectacular. That's why it was better in my
See,
opinion.
because I was watching the 20-minute one, and I'm like, okay, there's a crowd brawl. There's 8 minutes. There's a DDP chin lock. I just didn't see it. I didn't see the.
I was
need
in the
for
same boat as
extra.
Jesse because I saw the 10-minute one first and did like it admittedly. It didn't crack my top 70, but I wondered how could they top this. And then I heard these guys pimping the 20-minute one, so I went into it with fairly high expectations. And
Did you see
Do you think
the
maybe-
20-minute one first? Did you?
I did.
I can't remember which one I saw first.
See, 'cause
I
that
wonder
might-
if when we pimp stuff so hard, it creates
a backlash.
Aura, maybe.
It creates a thing where you open your eyes and really watch.
for better or worse.
For better or worse. There's no way to tell what effect it has, but
Yeah.
when I saw the 10-minute one, I was like, this is awesome. And when I was watching the 20-minute one, I was like, I wonder if they're going to use the same finish. The finish was so great. I was like, I wonder if they're just going to use it again. And
It
sure
was
as shit,
recycled.
they did.
Let's talk. We got a few matches left here. We'll talk on real briefly, and then we'll wrap this edition up. Juventud Guerrero, Billy Kidman.
Oh.
Jesse had it at number 2. I had it at number 21. Adam all the way back at 70. This was a great match. Jesse, though, as your second favorite match on the set, I really feel it's your.
I developed this love for these two. Me and Adam did the high flyer set, and he wasn't too high on it. I watched and I was like, this is unbelievable. And this was the next night. This is why I pimped this match so hard, because they came back and did it again, and it was as good, if not better.
And it was different.
than what it was different. What they did at the pay-per-view.
And one thing that I will say about their series of matches is that Kidman, before this set, if you would have asked me, I wouldn't have had a very favorable opinion of him. To me, he's fairly vanilla. He's got some of the lightest offense at times. But, against my, better judgment, he came out again and again and really surprised me pleasantly. And I thought him and Hoovy were one of the best groups of dancing partners
too.
on the entire set.
They were
Every
my
match that they
favorite.
had together was kick-ass. They
I
brought out
agree.
the best in each other.
I thought Hoovy and Kidman was better than Hoovy and Ray, honestly,
Yeah.
in this set.
I will agree with you on that. I will concede to that. Match 17, we're running out of time on this particular video. It's been Juan Guerrero. I had it at the highest vote at 7. Gio at 13. Jesse all the way back, almost didn't crack his top 100.
Yeah, it was. like people said, I felt like this was my least favorite because there was a lot of. Was this the one where they were flying over the ropes? Does this have the count out?
I think this is
At
one
the
where they
end?
spilled out. I'm not sure if it was the count out, but I do remember if it's the Club Livia match, them spilling to the floor a couple times.
I didn't hate it, but it was the least of all my favorite.
And we'll get to talk more in our top 10 about Guerrero and,
Yeah.
and Benoit. So at that point,
What about Gio? You had this one at number 4, Sting and Flair.
I don't think you can go wrong with these two, man. They
can't,
go out
I
there and
agree.
just perform magic every time. They make David Copperfield look like a piece of shit, dude. This is just amazing. I love it.
Now, you talk
I know
about they can
people-
perform magic every time.
People have that reservation.
I like
People
this
have
match.
reservation about the 2001 match. I know.
That's what I was getting ready to get at.
I know.
and yeah, and I was just going to say, as an aside, Flair 99 definitely had some stinkers. Gio's number 7 was actually our number 11. It was a Benoit Hart match, but again, we'll talk about those guys in greater detail yet to come. So watch August, first week of August, the top 10. We're going to look at each of the top 10 matches in detail, and then this project will finally come to an end after months of hard work and dedication.
Feels great.
So tune in 1 week.